Poppy to get as much burst out as possible. But at the very least, Lucid and Showmaker having a decent 2v2, particularly post-6, I think is absolutely essential for DK, because in any game where they've looked good, it's basically been through Showmaker specifically. This bot lane, though, I think Lucid is going to have to pay a visit to that, and that also means that
I think he might have to live there.
Yeah, well, hopefully he does, because again, that bot lane is mega swingy one way or another. And if you look at Kingen's performance thus far, he's going to have to be very stable. I don't think he should receive any attention of his jungler in this game. It should be all about him just managing in the 1v1. And Zeus is very far ahead of the curve when it comes to solo kills.
Indeed.
And can't afford to have that happen in this first game here, Atlas.
Especially not when you have a theoretical counter matchup, right? Like, this is something that you picked into it.
It's a practical counter
Well,
matchup.
I mean, I say theoretical because it's Zeus versus Kingen, and Kingen is substantially underperforming. You guys might be saying, well, Kingen was World's MVP, and he was up against Zeus in that match. It's irrelevant. Stop being silly. This is a tough uphill battle for D+. We'll see how they're going to do it. We hop into the Rift for Game 1. Alright, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 1. T1 taking on D+, and already D+ grouping up towards the bottom side. I think this might be a trend as we look further forward into this game, because another thing that we didn't even mention, we mentioned the fact that they have to focus on bottom lane, right? But we didn't mention that it's Owner on Poppy. And when does he ever go to the top side of the map as Poppy? Like, never?
No, I don't think he should. Oh, okay, so a couple of things I want to talk about. First and foremost, we have the quadruple Halo Blades. Again, reiterating that this laning phase is basically all about the level 1.
Yes.
And maybe as mentioned, they can look, or rather DK can look for an all-in and actually try to get some lane out of that way.
Though?
So yeah, that's the second thing I was talking about. We've been seeing this more and more, even with it originally started as a response to double support item, where you would both start Dorans and then go from there. But what this does is it means that Keria is so much harder to actually take down. He went Barrier as well, so the extra efficient combat stats that you gain from the Doran's Blade mean that, in theory, you should be having a much easier time into a lane that is, again, really going to be trying and look for an all-in.
Yes.
And then you just pick it up on your first base, and then you'll be good to go.
That's precisely what they're going to look for already. Keria just throwing out some shots, probably looking for a level 2 D+, but Keria doesn't really care about that. He can still shoot, no matter what level he is. Kellen might need to slink into the fog of war to get some of that health back. This Hail of Arrow is going to be avoided by Gumayusi.
Now, will Owner just level 3 dive? That's the main question I'm looking towards, because Kellen's trying to tank for aiming there, but not actually getting it off. Because they're not getting level 2. That's not happening.
No. Not until the minions are underneath the wave. As Faker took a little bit of a rough trade there up against Showmaker. We've seen Akali's do very well
in
this matchup even earlier on. Yeah, and obviously this is exactly where Owner is going to go. We've seen this in many games already this year. As Owner is going to move into the enemy jungle. Lucid moving over towards his blue buff, and you can see vision is down. Lucid knows what's going on. Owner has vision as well, though, as the Hawk shot flies in. Lucid actually being able to avoid that.
Oh, he might be able to smite it away here. They don't know that he's in the brush, but they should suspect that he's coming towards this objective.
It's a very impatient blue buff as well that is going to move back into the pit. Owner starting that one up again. I think every amount of time... Oh, there's a flash in with the wallbang from Owner. Lucid trying to ease him out of this. And he should be able to escape, but it looks like Owner has won the battle. As Faker's teleporting back. Owner is still here, going to be able to lock this one down, but Kellen a little bit late on this one, and Showmaker not going to be able to get in there either. So Owner able to steal away the blue buff and get himself out.
And I'd say it's... like, that could have gone way worse for DK. Because, and I think a lot of that goes towards Showmaker, who actually was able to win out early in that 1v1. Which meant that T1 couldn't really push the way that I think ideally they would want. Because again, they had full bot side prio. It was really hard for Lucid to even remotely contest, and we still see Aiming and Kelling having a little bit of a tough time there. Still cookies available for both Keria and Guma as well. We'll see if Lucid is able to get this objective. He does have his smite, his opponent does not, so it should be fine.
Oh, just able to move away from the wall there. So Ona going to be able to at least push him away. Does put some fear into him as now Zeus down relatively low. Good wallop, but good dash from Zeus to get himself out of the way. Kingen actually laning quite well, though, here in this early stage of the game. Of course, to be expected, and there's a big minion wave here as well, so it should be relative parity as far as the CS. But Kingen hasn't died yet.
Your expectations are really low, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, at least till level 6, he should definitely be okay. Surely. And so far, has been the case. And again, this is still a win for T1. I don't want to make it sound like DK came out victorious on that one. There's still going to be a lot of early blades here for Guma and Keria. But the worst case scenario is that either Lucid dies and loses his buffs and gets set extremely far behind right from the get-go, or bot lane gets dove, right? And if bot lane gets dove, then they're out of the game.
Oh dear, Kellen might just be dead. Has to flash. Let's get his health back here, slinking into the mist. But I don't know whether that was worth it necessarily, you know, stopping it back for a flash.
No.
The School of Beryl would say 100% worth.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go with no on that one.
You can win the game off that, did you know?
I do know, yeah. We both... We witnessed it together. Man, I can't get over that barrel performance yesterday.
It was pretty impressive.
It was something else. And right now, that flash is a valuable cooldown that is going to go down. But the only one that really is struggling at the moment, and that really has been set really far behind compared to his opponent, is specifically Lucid. Kellen did get spotted on the ward here. And this is the vision coverage. Is a nice way for T1 to ensure that we don't get to see this roaming pike have too much of an impact. Also, a Hawkshot there just to make sure that they are aware of everything that's happening. Ideally, Lucid would just one.
Yep.
Just a grub. And I think they'll be able to get it.
We'll be able to grab that experience. We'll be able to lock that one away. You can see he's behind a couple of camps. Still here is the Sejuani. A lot of his jungle has been taken away on that bottom side. And aiming, taking some pierce damage here from Gumayushi, who also sends a bit of a rend over. Kellen spotted here on this ward as Faker and Kellen moving into the river. And this bottom side, I mean, if you had like a traffic report of how many people have been hanging around, it would be just all red in the bottom side of the map for T1.
And we're seeing as well, and this is something that I think Lucid has really struggled with, we talked about a lot, is the extra level of scrutiny that you're going to be under. As
that was a dangerous one there from Faker, but Owner is going to be here. Killer Instinct going to be thrown out, and that is Owner just picking up the kill. Good bait to come through there, and Showmaker really wanted it. And the Killer Instinct is an ability for Kai'Sa. It's not a Kali. That is perfect execution, but it is absolutely fine. It didn't work out here for Showmaker.
He did have Killer Instinct, but the execution unfortunately wasn't perfect.
Yeah, it was not the right name of the ability for the time, was it?
Didn't get the kill, and he was out. I think that he could have easily made his way out there. Maybe at worst he has to flash. Instead, tried to look for a 2v2 or a 1v1 trade rather, which I do think would be worth it if you do get it, but it's such a big risk here as, Faker going in here, I think took a big risk with that, but knowing that Owner was there felt relatively safe. And then here, Showmaker is just out. And if he flashes the wall, then maybe it's enough, but they layered the CC in a way that I don't know if it really had a big window there to flash, and if you flash autos, and Faker is in time with the response, then maybe he doesn't even get the kill. So, really big win there for T1.
Yeah, and he was even lucky to get the damage from the perfect execution as well. Yeah. With the fact that,
just a really big risk.
It's a very, very fast ability. Still, a little bit of a worry. Not the end of the world, and he still has a decent CS advantage, or at least did.
Faker was 2 HP.
Wow.
Yeah.
Drink your potions, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we learned as heroic charge. Not going to get any stuns or anything as Kellen trying to keep his health bar high. It's not quite working out as Lethality Varus. Able to clear out this wave, that's certainly something that he is often capable of doing. As Kellen standing next to a wall, a very dangerous thing to do when there's a Poppy with Flash, but the rest of his teammates are around. As Lucid is going to move on over, does get the flash out from Owner there with the Glacial Prison. Nicely done. Like the fact that he does have his finger on the trigger, you know, ready to pull that one. But you can see there's already a couple of plates that have been taken here on this bottom side. And that is exactly what Callista Ash says on the tin.
And right now we're looking at an almost 2 or 1.5k gold lead here for T1 very early on. Showmaker is playing very aggressively and very liberal with his ult juices as well, really just trying to get the most out of this laning phase. I think it makes sense because bot lane is bleeding. No ultimate available for Lucid, and yeah, I think that I understand his attempt. Is going to try and go for a steal here.
All right, Steadfast Presence does come on over, and Lucid might have to just flash away. He is going to. Didn't really have to, but sometimes you just want an opportunistic chance at a Drake. Okay.
Yeah, and if the rest of his team is there at the same time and there's some chaos, then maybe that works. But not the first time we've seen Lucid not be on the same page of the rest of his team as Kellen.
Yeah, can he find the Bone Skewer is the question. He decides instead to throw Showmaker back. The arrow is going to be picked up, and there is the kill. Ona comes on in and takes down the Akali, but Faker does burn down as well, so D+ are on the board, but I think that T1 are on the board once again, unless Kellen can get himself out, and it looks like he should be able to do so. Gives him a thumbs up as he exits. And the thumbs up might be aimed here towards his bottom side, because that's where T1 are really finding the most of the benefit. Is aiming down to 50%. This could be diveable. They have Fate's Call, remember.
So just waiting. Oh, gotta hit that one. Not gonna be the case, and no real opportunity is aiming!
Just dead. Okay. Well, sometimes your turret's safe, sometimes your turret is not as safe. Chronicler, that's what I'm learning here.
Hey, Kingan's doing well, Atlas.
Yeah, Kingan's having a great game. Hyperprox coming on down here as he does manage to get the stun from the wallop. We'll send Zeus back. Zeus actually doing a decent job staying up in farm. You can see 90 to 96, but that wave might be lost. Zona is going to come on over and take himself a grub. Kellen up here towards the top side as there is the Gnar, but it's actually broken. Zeus going all out, does manage to keep himself alive and out of CC.
And while that was happening, grubs were being taken. And we are kind of reaching critical mass here for T1, right? And I want to reiterate, it's not like their composition skills poorly. We have sometimes these compositions with Callista in particular where you basically need to win early on or there's no chance.
Yeah.
I think it can be tough to pilot into the composition for specifically Guma and Keria, given that they are playing into Pyke, Akali. And I think there's still some opportunities for DK. I don't think this one is done just yet.
Oh, Keria could be in a lot of trouble here. Another ult does go basically nowhere. The arrow is going to fly through, though, as Lucid gets himself a permafrost, but he's still tanking the turret. Faker is going to be taken down first, though, and Lucid, another couple of autos need to be there, but the volley is blocked. And now Showmaker looks for it, doesn't find the backflip shuriken, and Keria will stay alive. Kellen not so lucky.
And DK have clearly decided we are not beating T1 by conventional means. We are flipping every single play. Kind of goes even in that one, I guess, as we go back to the previous one. And they are lucky that they're even able to get the kill with the Ignite there, right? Because it would have been a worst case scenario if another kill goes over. And I really have to commend Owner's timings on these plays. He has consistently been at the right place at the right time, reading DK like a book for any attempt they go for. And yeah, when that ult misses, just gotta let it go. Aiming gets skewered. And with Halo Blades in particular, the fact that you have Flash and Cleanse available isn't really gonna do anything.
Yeah, just dead.
As we're taking a look, Lucid going for the Flash Predict there, doesn't actually get it. And then it looks like he made a big mistake, is just going to end up going down, but Aftershock crucially is still ticking. And if Showmaker hits that E, this play is just a rousing success as, oh, Kellen.
Yeah, Kellen is very dead. We could probably surmise what happened there. Kellen was trying to do vision things and died because there were bad guys in the area.
Yeah, I keep going back to the Shuriken flip, because if you get the shutdown on Keria, then maybe you call that worth, but now 2.5k gold lead, getting bigger and bigger here.
Yeah, this is starting to look a little bit rough for D+. I like that they're still playing with gusto, though, and there hasn't been any of these big team fights that we know Gnar can definitely perform in. We know that Kingan, in the past, when Kingan was someone that, you know, was performing a whole lot better, it was his team fighting that was the great aspect of him as a player. Does have an opportunity to find that form once again. We have seen basically just top laners on an island, as we're kind of used to. But as this gold gap gets further and further away from D+, that possibility is going to be more difficult. See, Zeus still having an okay time, is in fact ahead in gold. So let's see whether T1 are going to be able to survive this one. Jonah Strong preparing us for the jump scare.
Keria doesn't have his flash. And I think that they had a suspicion, especially because aiming being that far up without anyone really showing up. Obviously, you can expect Kellen to be there, but that by its alone, not going to be enough. And Keria and Guma played out very safely. Dragon is about to come up here, and DK really were looking for this trap.
Yeah, Arrow is going to snag Kellen there, and he's just dead. Just no chance. And he almost got himself out of the way, but Enchanted Crystal Arrow hitbox has been a thing for many, many, many years.
And this is one of the reasons why when the Pike lock-in came, we're like, huh. Because Kellen, generally, you know, you have to be a Pike guy.
Yeah.
And I just don't think Kellen is a Pike guy.
I don't think so either.
You know who is an Ash guy?
Not inspiring us either.
You know who is an Ash guy?
Barrel. Keria, sorry.
He does 6k damage!
Yeah, no. Keria is running this early game, alongside Owner, of course, who is just in the right place at the right time. Like, once again, perfect position, they layer the CC, and what is Kellen supposed to do here?
Yeah, just when you secure the vision, peace out.
Open the shop, I think.
And here crucially, he doesn't have his E. So the moment that he walks a little bit too far forward, he just goes down, right? He doesn't have a way, or isn't able rather to dash out of the way. And it's a free kick gold lead now. I think that DK get one Hail Mary. You know, they got one team fight where maybe the backline overextends. You get a big Gnar ultimate into the wall. Kellen and Showmaker go haywire because do note, there are a lot of squishy targets on the enemy team. If you can get past the front line,
aiming. Gonna have to flash, and does also have to cleanse because the arrow still clips him. And Kellen now going to be at the mercy of Keria as well. Gumayushi catches up to, oh my goodness, just Pierce Rend and he's dead. And yeah, Keria will now shut them out of their own jungle. That ward will survive at least for the moment, but this Rift Herald not going to be so lucky as we're going to have a look at the difference in the supports, and that is whoa. That's a difference.
Hey, Kellen has 100% kill participation, man.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, no,
close to 100% death participation as well.
Yeah, and this is what we were saying coming into the game as well. The Pike basically is going to have to either flip the lane or find a really big impact outside of lane. And we're slowly running out of opportunities.
Fate's goal. And that's it's a pretty good ability.
He still has his sums.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Guma had to heal.
It's looking a little bit dire. As Zeus will look for the Gnar, gets himself out of the way though, not wanting to dive. King and getting the respect here, and of course, Zeus doesn't really have to do anything, right? He just needs to try and keep King in here, keep him busy, because the rest of the map is on fire for D+. So the more he isolates this matchup, the better it is.
Yeah, and we haven't really talked about Zeus yet in this game, but he also will not die once we get to actual team fights.
Yeah.
Because this is Lethality Varus, who is no longer as great as he once was. Surreal obviously took a really big hit in how effective it is at dealing with these beefy targets.
Ow.
As Showmaker is just going to be put in the naughty corner for a little bit there.
Yeah. Sending a message was Keria. I know where you are. He is now going to look for a back. Does have teleport, but that could almost guarantee this turret if they did want to try and take it. Kellen was in the area though, and Lucid was in Fog of War, so not going to opt into it. As Faker looking to knock down this turret, that will be their second of the game, really extending T1's global gold advantage. 6,000 is now that lead, creeping further and further.
And as far as individual plays go, obviously DK is still struggling. I do think they look better in the sense that they are making proactive moves. The really big problem in this game is that because of their lack of lane prio towards the bot side of the map, plus the fact that Owner has been on top of Lucid for basically the entirety of the game, we've really seen him struggle as maybe a play on Faker. Does have Spell Shield here.
Yeah, no information here as Faker moving on over.
I don't think he's falling.
There's a lot of control wars.
He has a Spell Shield.
Yeah. Yeah, the Spell Shield certainly helps.
It is a big problem.
But if they can break it, Showmaker not quite able to do so. Faker sidestepping really nicely. And now, Lucid looking for that opportunity. He flashes. The Spell Shield's still there, though.
Hey, flash for flash. Yes, it's something, I guess. Oh, Huma actually going for Edge of Night here.
Wow.
That is, yeah, I mean, you're a Fed Callista. The enemy tank is not in the best of places at the moment.
And also, like, their engage is the Glacial Prison.
It is. And
you just avoid that as Emperor's Divide is going to throw Lucid underneath this turret. Carrier just free firing, but they do manage to take down Faker, and there's the double for Carrier as well. Zeus now looking for this, does find the third Q, and aiming, gonna miss another ultimate. It is, and Zeus is running real quickly.
It's a 1v2!
It is. And aiming's now melee range with a Cassante, and now he's dead. Kingen is now mini-Gnar as well. Able to get out of the way of a few of these Qs though, and Zeus gonna get flashed on. There it is, the boomerang to the back of the head. That was very close to a 2-for-0 for Zeus. Kingen with good movement. Cassante things.
Okay, I need a moment to recover. Yeah, so it's a 5k gold lead now. And the play on the other end of the map didn't really end up working out. Carrier ended up getting a double, I think. So he's going to be even more fed. Going to spend his money now, it looks like. As we can have a look at it here. Yeah, we take another look at this. They are able to kill Faker in the end, which you know, they are going to be happy about. Crucially, Lucid knows he's already dead, decides to tank the turret there, but unfortunately, wait, did he get a... I think Showmaker did actually end up making it out.
Yes.
Then we take another look at this play here. Because this isn't a fat Cassante, right? Zeus is just a normal Cassante. He's just been farming for the last amount of time, and I think here we see the lethality Varus in particular. I think just has 0 threat, and Aiming and Kingen are also not on the same page. Yeah. Like Aiming is walking back to the wave and trying to clear, whereas Kingen is still moving forward, and particularly against Zeus, like yes, he ends up dying, but that still is not going to feel good for DK. Like, not even remotely.
No. Unfortunately, he's been aiming, but he hasn't been hitting.
He's an archer.
He is. Sometimes it's not in the aiming part. It is in the hitting the target part. That's the bit that you really need to focus on. As the Baron has now been started up by T1. Lucid is getting bullied out here by Carrier, who does have full ownership of this jungle. Lucid down to 50% before any of this has really happened, as there's the ulti. Fate Score going to come through here as well, as Ona will send the Gnar back to the rest of his teammates, and Kingen kind of happy with it, I guess.
Yeah, I think he might have died otherwise. Yeah. But they didn't want to run the risk. We do see Sum's now down on Guma, as well as the Fate Skull, but I don't think that alone will be enough to dissuade T1. They do still have a lot of the other teamfight ultimates available.
Oh, Arrow going to connect once again as Faker just scoops in the Pyke, who's dead mid-push over the wall.
Kingen has Mega Gnar, like, it's now or never for DK, but...
Oh no, Lucid has to Arctic Assault himself out of this. There's going to be no smite in the pit, and Kingen's Mega Gnar is running out. You can see low health bar here onto Ona, but it's still just ticking down, and Carrier is just pushing the jungler away. He's going to solo him. And now Steadfast Presence means you're not making it out of this one. Zeus going to pull the Gnar around. And Showmaker, can you be the hero is the question. Looking to get over the wall, but he's not going to get there. Ona just being Poppy and avoiding death, as Carrier says he's the 80 carry now, as he takes down Aiming. Another solo kill. He's 7-0-5.
I forgot who told it to us at some point, but there was someone that said, Carrier never gets to play Ashe. It just doesn't happen. And this was
I think everyone's
way back.
Saying it for a really long time.
No, I know that. But I feel like we hadn't really been truly reminded why that is the case. Up until this game.
But now we are very reminded.
Extraordinarily reminded. No, split. There is no way.
That would be... Yeah, that would be a big... A big error.
1v1 the jungler.
He did. Ona is also going to look to kill Kellen here, who does manage to make it out before the Steadfast Presence comes up. Otherwise, he would have been very dead. Yeah, I reckon that vote is pretty good for this one. As, yeah, Kellen just dies instantly. And look at this. Carrier just exits. He's like, I'll get rid of the jungler, guys. And he does so.
And then Lucid's like, I really want to try and get a smite going here. Please, please, please let me. And Carrier knows that Lucid will try to do so. Just waits in the brush after clearing the vision. And then here, I think Owner actually like sides or... Oh, he does actually get hit. I was like, I think he walked into the little alcove, and that's why he didn't get hit. He did get hit. Doesn't matter. He's Poppy, has the extra resistance, and Showmaker doesn't even get that kill.
Hey, bounty goal. They're only 11,000 gold behind now. As aiming is going to cleanse, but he's still down to 50% health. Fate's Call are going to come through here as Carey is thinking about it. Not going to work out there as Carey's top damage. That's
not fair!
Things that are happening in this game, I guess. And D+ desperately trying to defend these Nexus turrets. Also probably thinking a lot more about what to do in game number 2, because this one is all over but the Cryan. As Lucid, nice little fade away there onto Ona, but it's onto Ona, so it doesn't really matter. Kingan's got a Mega Narbar, but not a lot of help, because he's just taking poke damage here from Faker. The flash in, Faker, Emperor's Divide onto 3, and he's going to be absolutely fine. Ona finds a double knock up. The arrow sails by majestically, and Kellen is off on the side. He's not going to be able to stop this Nexus turret from going down, and not going to be able to do anything about this Nexus that's also about to explode. Aiming, going to die once again, and T1 will celebrate just before they finish the task. And that one did not quite work out there for D+.